Walden Hicks, the winners in Eagle River. They sat on the pole for this race. An early problem for DeWald sent him all the way to the back of the field. He came charging back, led, lost the lead in that last sequence, and now DeWald wants it here from Giroux. 11 laps to go. Can Jake Giroux hold on? Because here comes the charging Zach DeWald. It will be 10 laps to go at the line. Giroux sliding, DeWald following. Giroux cuts it down. Diamonds takes the run. 10 laps to go. This is the battle for the lead. It's Team Applebee's and Mickey's Factory Sleds. Once again, DeWald looking to set it up to the inside. Zach DeWald the run. Giroux looking to hang on. DeWald with the speed. DeWald to the inside. Zach DeWald to the lead. DeWald through the bumps, able to control, slipping, sliding, controlling. 9 laps to go for Zach DeWald. Now he'll look to set sail. 0.6 of a second his advantage, but lap traffic immediately is going to be there. He'll have to deal with the Harris Racing Polaris first. Able to do so. The 04, DeWald through the rut. Able to slide it and control it. DeWald and Hicks on this sled have had some big-time marches already this season, and DeWald's walking away. It seemed like the best chance for Giroux was to stay in front and to be able to get into some of those preferred racing lines that DeWald wanted to be in. The lead now has stretched to nearly 2.5 seconds for Zach DeWald. He got the lead, and he has absolutely set sail. He has the 24 for R&K Motorsports in his sight. Slides by, working very efficiently through lap traffic right now is Zach DeWald, as he is probably the most hooked up, and now has stretched the lead after that last lap. 7 to go to 4.3 seconds and growing. 7 to go, and Zach DeWald pulling away. It's going to be over 5 seconds by the time this lap is all said and done. Meanwhile, the World Class Racing number 41 has found their way into the top 3 as well. They've gotten by both the Bauer Racing and the Countryside Motorsports squads. 6 laps to go. Zach DeWald looking to win from the pole and looking to stay perfect in 2024 with teammate James Hicks. DeWald through 3. In front is the WV Performance sled. DeWald, a bit of a slip off the corner. He'll control it. 5 laps to go for Zach DeWald. Running away. The lead is stretched to 8.3 seconds for DeWald as we're to 4.5 laps to go into turn 3 and 4. DeWald would not, and absolutely has not, it would appear, be denied this afternoon. He was dominant in the very first stretch of the race, had a little bit of a miscue. The sled slid out from under Zach. He went off in the entrance of turn 3. James Hicks got on, drove the sled back to the front. DeWald has then taken control, and DeWald has taken control of the race. It'll be 3 laps to go at the stripe. Out of turn 4, motoring to the inside of the 62 of the RCI Richter Racing Polaris, and across the Advanced Installation start-finish line. 3 laps to go for Zach DeWald. Team Applebee's remains second. World Class Racing now, with that last lap, actually has slid up. The Applebee's team back to 4th. World Class Racing second. Countryside Motorsports is up in the 3rd and final podium spot. 2 laps to go at the stripe. A 11-second plus lead for Zach DeWald. The Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel 250. What a weekend. What an effort by everyone to be able to get this event in. The weather conditions certainly have not been ideal, but the racing has been all day. Yesterday in the sprint competition, we had some thrilling side-by-side finishes, and today, a back-and-forth 130-lap enduro appears to be going the way of Mickey's Factory Sleds as they look to win for back-to-back weekends. Zach DeWald looking to take it home right here. Final lap, white flag is in the air for DeWald. We'll wait for him to come back around and take the win. There's a look at the white. Here's DeWald. Zach DeWald. James Hicks, Mickey Motorsports, a 2021 Polaris Winners at Eagle River and the Pro Enduro at the World Championship Snowmobile Derby last week. They sat on the pole. They went to the back. They came from behind. DeWald and Hicks win in Traverse City. The Mickey Motorsports crew winners again. An incredibly strong start to the 2024 season, and they pick up the win in the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel 250 and the debut action on the MIRA Race Network. Cannot wait to hear from Zach and company momentarily as Zach goes by. His father gets the congratulations in that regard. We had quite the battle coming if it weren't for the issues there that Troy DeWald had, but Zach DeWald, what a final stint. He'll get the congratulations from his teammate James Hicks as well as they pick up another win, back-to-back weekends for that squad in Pro Enduro competition. The family embrace as well at the end. The Cataract Collision 21 ultimately getting up into the 16th spot. Let's take a look at your unofficial top 10. First, the 57 for Mickey's Factory Sleds. The second place finisher, the 28 for Countryside Motorsports. Third, the 41 for World Class Racing. Fourth, the 19 for Tommy Bauer Racing. Fifth, the PxP Racing Sled. In sixth, the 72 for Team Appleby. Seventh, the number 7 for KMW Racing. Eighth, Town Brothers Racing's number 2. Ninth place, the Brownlee Boys team and their 77 and ninth. And wrapping up the top 10 is the WBV Performance 44. Both riders on the sled. Give them a hand if you're on property. Zach DeWald, James Hicks, winners in Traverse City. What an effort by those two. The O'Reilly Auto Parts checkered flag in hand for James Hicks, riding along with Zach DeWald as they're able to pick up the win in Traverse City. What a weekend it was. A pole to a win. They're able to pick up the double this weekend with a confident performance from the back to the front in the race. It certainly was a race of perseverance through the conditions. For Zach DeWald, the early problems going to the back of the field after an incident in the third turn in the very first stint of the race, and they're able to stay with it. And Zach DeWald helps drive the 57 back to victory lane. Again, we momentarily are going to be able to hear from them as we do have Spanky down trackside ready to get that interview underway. But it's the 57 team from Mickey Motorsports. They come home winners in Traverse City and take home the Turtle Creek Hotel and Casino 250, 130 lapper, and an absolute test in the conditions that we had this afternoon. Here they come to the start-finish straight. And now we'll toss it on down as Spanky Robinson will be able to take over as those riders are down there. We'll get the interview underway. And good morning and welcome everyone to Williamsburg, Michigan, just outside of Traverse City. It's race day for the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel 250 on the MIRA Race Network, presented by Ginup Sales and Service. My name is Nate Dreyer. I'm joined alongside by Spanky Robinson this morning. We're getting right into the action. We've got a jam-packed day. We have the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel 250, the Pro Enduro race, which we'll get into some notes due to the weather. A couple different conditions in terms of length and stage changes in that race that we'll have plenty of time to talk about. We have mini enduros left over from yesterday that we weren't able to get to with some of the weather going on. We've got the junior race as well. Spanky, it's going to be a jam-packed Sunday here at Traverse City.
Yeah, the excitement in the air, and jam-packed Sunday day, no question about it here. And the track, considering the conditions, has been holding up well. Got a chance to talk to the guys who built the track, and there's a fair bit of ice on that track still. They got some water off it, so we should have a good day of racing here, and concluding with the 250, the Turtle Creek 250.
And that Turtle Creek 250 that you mentioned is going to be moved to technically being the Turtle Creek 130 today. We're breaking the race into several stages because of that. Right now, though, we've got the Sportsman 600 Mini Enduro sleds out on track, checking things out. I think, Spanky, when you look at the conditions from yesterday, you look at the track today, what are some of the things that these drivers and teams are maybe mentioning that they had their eye on with this facility to look at?
Well, I'm sure they got a chance, out there in totally different conditions. A lot of water, softer ice to adjust the sleds. They got some running time on on the sleds yesterday. Maybe a little different setup, a little bit different down pressure on the front skis. Maybe adjusting that limiter strap on the tracks to what that does is it raises and lowers the track, puts more studs down in contact with the track, and so I'm sure some adjustments made out there, but the track conditions today, it has got cooler here in the last 2 hours. The temperatures have dropped a bit here in Traverse City, so it should be a good day of racing here. You want to be on board, get on the Race Network, MIRA Race Network, and follow us along.
Yeah, we even had a little bit of snow this morning. Another change that's being made, these mini enduros have been shortened even more from what we were looking at originally and then into today as well. They will be 5-lap races for the mini enduros. So the mini enduro races are going to be extra mini, and they are essentially just going to be another sprint race for each of these classes, starting with the Sportsman 600.
Watch for the start here now as that pace sled made its turn down into the pit area.
We've got the O'Reilly green flag in the air, and it's a head-to-head battle. Two sleds out there taking the inside. Troy DeWald, he'll get the advantage over Aaron Celestino. It'll be a head-to-head duel out here out front. 5 laps for the mini enduro in Sportsman 600. The early advantage going to Troy DeWald. He'll look to set it up a little bit more here in this head-to-head duel.
Yeah, Troy DeWald on board. That Polaris comes off the corner. Boy, you can see a little bit of a waggle as he went down that front straightaway. Celestino tries to find a way to catch up to that Polaris of Troy DeWald.
These guys, of course, the very first ones to be able to see the circuit, and they'll have quite a bit of recon going back to their teams for what the conditions are like. You see hanging on the bars, hanging off the side, dragging it down into turn 3. Troy DeWald keeping that advantage pretty consistent. It was half a second last time by. We'll see what it goes to this time. It's 0.8 of a second. So DeWald walking out by about 0.3 of a second right now with 3 laps to go.
A little bit wider line that time for DeWald. He's out into the middle of the track trying to find a little smoother ice there, Nate, as he rockets down the back straightaway. He's cranking off some pretty good speed out here, as well as Celestino in second there in that number 13 machine.
DeWald opening that gap, even that much more in the 60. How about a 1.5 second gap now back to the 13? As DeWald is looking to pull out. The Alpena, Michigan runner, 1990 Polaris Indy 600cc is what DeWald's running, and he's stretching that lead even more as he's looking for the Sportsman 600 win.
Yeah, here comes DeWald off turn 4 to the line. Look at him tucked in there. He'll lift that inside ski and bring it home over the line there. Another lap in the books, a little sideways as he onto the binders into that turn 1-2 area. But boy, Troy DeWald is cranking out some pretty quick laps here in Traverse City.
And definitely a little bit of a slip there for DeWald, but he's been on cruise control. Sportsman 600 Pro Enduro shortened to 5 laps, and the first checkered flag of the Sunday goes to Troy DeWald in the 60 team. He wins the Sportsman 600 Mini Enduro.
Yeah, there's DeWalt there. Boy, that was a solid run. Led from start to finish, got the jump and drove it on to victory. Celestino, he was there, but just not quite enough. Now you'll watch a little bit of a fist pump, good sign of sportsmanship. And Troy DeWalt, he's your champion here in the Sportsman 600 Mini Enduro.
All right, good run to start the day for certain for DeWalt. He's the first to find his way across the advanced insulation start-finish line this morning. I guess, Spanky, first, kind of looking at the track conditions, how do you think things have held up overnight? It looks like we've had some improvement from yesterday.
Well, I got a chance to talk early this morning with the town boys. There's so many hours worked putting into this track here, and he thanks all the volunteers who volunteered all their time. They need to be mentioned. Out pretty much most of the night last evening, got some pumps running. We had a little problem with some water in that turn 1-2 area. Able to pump that water off the race course and run it completely off the racetrack. So this racetrack actually looks much, much better here today than what we've seen yesterday. The temperature about 36 degrees currently here in Traverse City, Michigan. Light winds out there, but it appeared in the last 2 hours the temperature may be dropping. So that'll be dynamite. If we can drop a couple degrees, Nate, here, it'll be real good.
All right, I think our JD. All right, so we see our semi-pro 600 Mini Enduro lining up again. 10 laps here. We had 14 sleds entered for this one. We'll see how many are going to take the green flag. Looks like we're going to have a pretty full amount of those takers. Anakin Bosick is first in line on the 61 sled. The 28 following of Dylan Miller that you see behind him. The rest will all find their way in line again behind the Kaisner Construction Pace sled.
Yeah, the machine's making their way. It looks to be a pretty good field coming out, Nate, as they get him in line behind that Kaisner Construction Pace sled, and we'll take him around for a lap here, and we'll line them up, and we'll get ready to go. We'll do our best to try to get you the lineup formation for this semi-pro 600 mini enduro.
So everyone filing into line and getting ready to open up our final of the mini enduros. Again, down to 10 laps for this one. Semi-pro 600. Spanky, kind of describe, we've seen a couple different 600 races in a row, and then of course coming up later as well in the pro enduro. Explain the semi-pro 600 mini enduro and kind of the nature of the drivers and the sleds here.
Well, these are a lot of new riders or first-year riders, and with not a lot of experience. So, but this is something special, Nate. We've got, I believe, 12 or 13 sleds onto the race course here. So it's going to something that we haven't seen that many sleds out on the track. It's going to be a good one.
I just got the word from Race Control, 1 to go. The Kaisner Construction Pace sled's going to bring them around, and if you noticed on the shot, the sled sped up a little bit and slowed down. MIRA Race Control was telling this Pace sled driver, speed him up a little bit because he saw a lot of smoke coming out of the engine, so they want to get him to warm up just a bit and get ready to rock and roll in this here.
Up in that front row, Dylan Miller, he'll lead on the inside of that front row. Outside him, the number 84 entry, that is Preston DeShano, the Auburn, Michigan rider.
So field will come into alignment once more down the backstretch. They'll find their way around to that advanced insulation start-finish line where Chief starter Mark Juday will get us the O'Reilly Auto Parts green flag, and we'll get our 10 laps underway here in the Semi-Pro 600, our final mini enduro of this weekend. Got the junior races, and then of course the big Turtle Creek Hotel and Casino 250 coming up later on this afternoon.
Now let's watch the start here. We haven't seen this many machines on the track, so it's a good what you're going to see later on today. You're going to get a little preview, let's say, Matt, of this one here. Nate is you're getting ready to go.
Bosick and DeShano on the front row. To the inside is Bosick on the 61. He's got the control. A good jump coming from the second row. They'll go 3 abreast down into the first turn, opening up our mini enduro. Able to file their way on through. It's DeShano taking the first advantage. He'll cut off one charge that came from behind. Preston DeShano takes the advantage. Now he slips a little bit off the pace. He'll go into second. Look to charge back for that top spot as they dive off for the third turn. Wrestling on the inside is the 24 of Tanner Heatherks. He'll battle for that lead as everyone else files on through. You see Bosick is falling back in the field a few spots, battling side by side with Michael Berza.
Yeah, Heatherks got a good run there. He looked down the back straightaway now. They've opened up a pretty good gap here now, probably 10, 12 sled lengths back to your second place machine. You're already entering that turn 3 and 4 area.
Tanner Heatherks, Wayland, Michigan runner, has got the advantage. Rest of the field stacking up here. See Bosick in front of Miller and part of that middle of the field race, but it's the 24 all out front. 8 laps to go. The 7 pulling off. That's the KMW Racing machine that will find its way back towards the paddock area as they file on through. 8 to go. Leading the way, Tanner Heatherks. He has a 1.8 second lead over the second place runner, Preston DeShano.
Boy, Heatherks has that machine dialed in perfectly as he's got a big lead now. You see him just sweep wide in the track down. Take a look down towards the inside as he makes his way off turn 2 down the back straightaway.
This is the battle for fourth. Bosick looking to charge on the back of Dylan Miller right here. Anakin Bosick on his Polaris, the red and blue machine, 61, sizing things up in the third turn here with 7 to go. Looks a little bit to the inside. We'll see how he can try to slide that one in there. For the time being, Miller keeps the position, and stalking that just behind is Steve Ullman in the 41.
Yeah, pretty good battle waging there for that third, fourth spot. Right there, you can see the machines waggle down as they into that turn 1-2 area. Down the back straightaway now. Here comes Bosick trying to challenge.
Miller was fighting it to the inside. Bosick trying to find the advantage as he had a little bit of a run, gets cut off, diving inside Miller, keeping the position for once more again. This is the jockeying in the battle for the 4th and the 5th spot. We mentioned that 41 of Ullman just kind of sitting and waiting. He's going to look to pounce on the out of position Bosick, and now he'll enter it and make it a 3-horse battle for the 4th spot.
Yeah, that machine got a little bit loose, and Bosick to get on the gas and just waggle a bit, and then allowed the third place machine to get a little bit away now as a challenge now for that 4 spot.
4 laps remaining, running away out front still. Tanner Heat-Dirks is, you see the 61 and the 41. They'll battle the 28 and 4 spot, but they'll scamper away just a little bit. This is the battle for 5th as Bosick has the advantage. To the outside, here comes Steve Ullman trying to make it happen. The Waterford, Michigan runner sliding around the outside. Anakin Bosick wrestling to the inside. They go side by side. Ullman has the nose. Ullman has the place. Slide him up into the 5th spot.
You can just see how he was in some great ice out there. He hooked up and he disappeared quickly, shot forward, and he'll grab that spot now as we continue on. Heat-Dirks continues to lead here. He's got a pretty comfortable lead, Nate.
And they'll go by the lap traffic right there, James Kay, and a couple other lappers to the inside of the track. Go with this battle in the back half of the top 10. It's still out front has been all Tanner Heat-Dirks. He's been kind of on his own lap a lot of the time. The way that the timing and scoring has been rolling over, he's been able to open up a straightaway plus advantage. It is 9 seconds right now. His gap back to the second place runner, Preston DeShano. So it is free and clear for Tanner Heat-Dirks with 2 to go.
Yeah, big lead, 9-second lead. That's pretty much almost a half of the track here at the in Traverse City here now as we continue on in the Semi-Pro 600 Enduro.
24 will take the white flag, and he will get ready to try to pick up our final mini Enduro win down the backstretch. It's Tanner Heat-Dirks out of Wayland, Michigan. He rides a 2023 Polaris Axis R, and he'll wrestle that Polaris around. A little bit of lap traffic in front, not going to be a problem. Dominant win. Tanner Heat-Dirks takes the Semi-Pro 600 win. He slides across the advanced installation start-finish for the O'Reilly Auto Checker.
Wow, flawless ride for Tanner Heat-Dirks out there. He grabbed that lead, never looked back, and he drove it on.